Happy Monday. Welcome into another edition of 3 Point Stance presented by Mountain Dew. Meghan, Triplett, John Roser here with you to give you our stances from the weekend that was. And Roser, let's start with the Memphis Grizzlies. They started their season. They're 0-2 after losses against the Spurs and the Atlanta Hawks. But there's still some questioning going on from the play that we saw. Not from John Morant, because he's been phenomenal. But give me your stance on how this season has gone so far for the Grizzlies.
It's not a total grisaster yet. Now, it could be coming up soon with Brooklyn, Boston, Charlotte, and then 2 games in a row against the Lakers. It could be pretty fast if things don't get turned around. The bench has been awful. That's been well documented. Look, Tyus Jones, these are his first 2 real basketball games since, the shutdown in March. So, because he didn't play in the bubble at all. The biggest thing, and it was a problem last year, too, for this team. And defending without fouling. DeMar DeRozan got to the free throw line, 15 times? He was 14 of 15 from the line. And Trae Young just got there 17 times. They've scored 119 points. They scored 112 points. That should be enough to win you the game. The problem is they're giving up 131, 132, and then 122.
Yeah.
They don't defend. They can't defend. That's the problem. They have to start playing defense, and it needs to start soon. If you're going to give up 122 to 130 every night, you're going to be bad. And you're going to be bad for a long, long time if you don't start defending a little bit. Defense, to me, is the main issue. It is. It is the overwhelming main issue going on with this team right now.
Yeah, I mean, Coach Jenkins said it after the game. I think after that Spurs game, it's like what we can't live with is like how many points they're giving up in the paint, getting the guys to the free throw line. And when you think about the offense itself, like, Ja is going to need some help. Like, having a night with 44 points, 34, coming in the second half. And Ja said it best. He was like, stats don't matter to him. They want the win. And you look as like a bigger picture with the different rotations that Coach Jenkins has kind of experimented with. You're still trying to like fit people and plug them in, especially when it comes to that second unit. Brandon Clark, it looks as if like he's still getting healthy. He's still kind of like getting back acclimated to this group. Kyle Anderson looks great, but there's still just a lot of issues. And with this Brooklyn Nets game tonight, that's gonna, I think, answer a lot of questions, especially when it comes to like Brooklyn's coming off of a back-to-back. What they're gonna look like when it comes to minutes. Can we feed it down low a lot to Jonas Valanciunas? Can he kind of get going? Still 2 games in, the road gets a little tougher, but Coach Jenkins' job, they've said it best. Like, this is going to be something that they're going to work on. They're still pushing for it, and gotta wait and see what happens with. It's early.
They also need. There's Jaren getting back also would help, not just for the fact that he's your second best player, but someone else who can attack off the dribble, because there's nobody else on that team that scares you attacking off the dribble other than Ja. There's no one at all. So that's another big part of it. What it looks like right now is what it looked like forever with Mike Conley, and that is one person having to shoulder so much of the ball handling load. And there's no one else to take the pressure off of him. They need someone else that can do that. That'll help Ja. And then they play some defense.
Well, speaking of pressure and, playing some defense, a team that didn't play defense from it seems like, but how do you lose by 51 points? That's what the Clippers are trying to struggle with and they're asking themselves after that Dallas Mavericks game.
I mean, we lost to the Warriors by 50 a couple of years ago, so it can't happen every now and then. I mean, Kawhi Leonard didn't play, and I guess it was just one of those days. I mean,
Paul George blamed it on Christmas Day.
Isn't that a classic song by the R&B singer Monica? Just one of them days.
Some days that a girl goes through.
Yeah, well, the Clippers went through it the other day. Look, they didn't play offense either. I mean, when you're down, 62-18, nothing's really working for you. The offense isn't working. The defense isn't working. It happens from time to time. I remember a game in the Pyramid, the New Jersey Nets, when they were the New Jersey Nets, not the Brooklyn Nets, and they had Jason Kidd and Richard Jefferson and Keith Van Horn, and I think they were coming off a finals appearance, or they ended up going to the finals that year or the next year or something. Like, they came in here to FedEx Forum, the Grizzlies beat them by 45. And just every now and then you're going to have a game where you don't have it. Like, it's just,
Yeah.
it's going to be bad. It happens to every team every now and then. You may not lose by 50, but you might suffer a 30-point loss or something. And it looks like the Clippers just had one of those. They just had one of them days.
You're being nice right now. I gotta say, you're being extremely nice, because when you have, like, this is a franchise loss, like going down in history for them. And when you have a star team, Kawhi, but Paul George, and I know his comment about blaming on Christmas Day, they didn't come ready, which I agree with. We've all been there for the holidays. You're coming off a holiday. Sometimes you don't put up your best foot forward, and it didn't look like that. But the Clippers, for like what they went through this offseason, and like making the different changes to the coaching staff and losing Montrezl Harrell, which, like, that was a big deal, and they've had some issues within that locker room. It just now continuously shows that they're still going through it. It wasn't just a coaching change that needed to happen. There's some issues with the Clippers, and so I think it was eye-opening, and I think it says a lot about that team. I don't think it was just one of them days. I think it's been just one of those weeks, and it could be one of those months to come. But we'll see.
I think they'll be fine. I think they're going to be fine. I probably would have had a bigger reaction if I hadn't seen the Grizzlies lose by 50, but I've seen it happen to us too.
Yeah, we're going through something ourselves. Okay, I get it. Okay, well, how about over in the NFL? We got to figure out some playoff questions and figuring out how things are going to play out. Your 49ers got to win. My Titans got a loss.
Yeah, right. At the time of the season, when it's like I had kind of like put it in my mind, like, all right, we're playing Arizona and Seattle. We're probably going to lose the last couple of games. We're probably going to lose the last 2 games. So, all right, let me just start looking at NFL draft stuff. We're going to lose Richard Sherman. Okay, so we need corner. I love the Surtain kid at Alabama. He's going to be a star. His dad was an all-pro in the NFL, too, for the Dolphins. Like, I'd already started going. And then we got to win a game, and now I get jacked up, and I'm all excited again. And I'm like, can we beat Seattle this coming weekend? Probably not, but maybe. Anyways, no, the final weekend of the NFL. So the Sunday night game has been announced. It's been flexed. It's going to be Washington and Philadelphia. If Washington beats Philadelphia, it doesn't matter what happens earlier in the day in the Giants-Cowboys. Washington will win the division. Washington's not going to win the division, though, because Dwayne Haskins is their quarterback, and he has no business being a starting quarterback in the league. He got benched again yesterday. I can't remember who the guy's name is, but if that guy starts, good things aren't happening for Washington either. So I don't think Washington's going to beat Philadelphia. So it's going to come down to, then I think it's down to the Giants or the Cowboys. And the fact that either one of those teams can still win that division just speaks to what a crappy division is. And how we lost to Washington, Philadelphia, and Dallas this year drives me insane. But one of those teams is going to, have 6 or 7 wins and be able to make the playoffs. Now, the Tennessee Titans also have to beat the Houston Texans to make the playoffs. And one other thing we learned, the Jacksonville Jaguars have secured the number 1 overall pick. Congratulations. Trevor Lawrence will be your quarterback next season. So I think I just covered the NFL. There may be some other seeding things in there, but I think that's I think I covered most of it.
I think you did. I will say for my Titans, I'm a little nervous just because of I didn't think they were going to beat Green Bay. I knew Aaron Rodgers was going to do it.
That was a pathetic performance, though. That was pathetic. I mean, it wasn't good. With Derrick Henry, that's all you got to do. But the problem is, then they get down by so much, and so then you can't run the ball anymore. And that was just.
But that's what the Titans do. We get down, and we have to always have these little comebacks, and especially after J.J. Watt and his little pump up speech that he gave to his team, after their loss. I'm a little nervous that I don't need the Texans to come out here and be this superstar Texan team. I need the Titans to come out here, get the W, so we can make it to the playoffs for a second time in a row. That's what I need. But, it's the last week of the NFL, and so there's still a lot of storylines to be played out. And we'll see if the Jets continue to – maybe they'll end their season on a 3-game winning streak. Who knows?
The other thing, too, I will say this because we were at the Grizzlies game on Saturday while the 49ers were on. But my buddy John Mills, who engineers our radio broadcast, had it pulled up on his phone right there. So I was watching it on his phone. And I know some people, this is not a very popular opinion, but of the players who are really popular in the NFL with fans, Kyler Murray's the most overrated player in the league. It's not even close. He's not that good.
Wow. You saved your big stands for last.
He's not that good. He's really not that good. They should be way better than they are. Especially, they got no business scoring 12 points against us. They should be scoring 34 points against us. That's ridiculous. And the Cardinals have been disappointing all season long. They went through it. They started hot, and everybody thought they were going to be great. And then it just started to tail off. And the thing with Kyler Murray is, if it's as long as he doesn't rush crazy on you, if you can just keep him kind of in that pocket, now sometimes it's easier said than done, but it ain't that hard. It's not harder than keeping Lamar Jackson in the pocket. Like, he's way, way more difficult to deal with. Kyler Murray ain't that good. He's not that great at throwing the ball. He's really not.
I don't know how we ended up here. I didn't even ask you anything about the Cardinals or
Kyler Murray. Give a stance on something, and that's what
there you go.
Murray, the most overrated player in the NFL.
Well, there you have it. That's our big stance for the day. Roser, like always, appreciate the time. We're over our minutes, but I'll talk to you next week as the NFL wraps up. I can't wait to see your biggest stance after all that.